Good evening. Well, this is part 3 of Clara, the It Girl, and I want to talk about her silent films. A few people have asked me, do you think, or have you even seen her silent films? And I say, well, yes. If it's out there, I've seen it. There's a few that still haven't had the circulation yet. Like, I heard they recently discovered and then restored Children of Divorce, the film she struggled with Gary Cooper, and a couple of those other ones that she made that haven't been released yet, like I think Black Lightning or one of those. When you see Clara in the silent films, you really do see genius. You see she has a perfect understanding of the camera. She knows how to react to no matter what the scene is, high drama, comedy. She can even do slapstick. She's brilliant at slapstick. If you've seen Kid Boots, she and Eddie Cantor have a wonderful rapport on the screen, and I think it's just a shame that they didn't do a talking picture together. When you see it, you know why that film really put her over the top. She works with her co-stars so brilliantly. She plays the part of a girl who actually, her roommate doesn't have a husband and has this little baby and is out of work, and Clara is helping her. So Clara actually says the baby's hers. You know, that's just that kind of a thing, which would have been a huge big deal in the 1920s. The sad thing is all of the 1928 films that Clara made, she made 4, they have all disappeared. And all 4 of them would have been very interesting, but Red Hair, the first one she made, they did a 10-minute opening reel in Technicolor, which I've heard they found some tests were recently discovered that she made from that film. Of course, it was a gigantic hit. I think the second film of 1928 was The Fleet's End. You know, she's a dance hall girl, and you know, she gets in and out of trouble. The third film she made that year was considered a lost masterpiece, Lady of the Mob, and the director was William Wellman, who did very well directing Clara. You kind of think that maybe later on he could have done something wonderful with her. I always think she could have done Dark Victory and done that film, you know, as well as Bette Davis did it. And I think, you know, had she had the director Wellman behind her on a film like that. But then the last film she made as a silent film was 3 Weekends. It was another Eleanor Glenn, you know, kind of a tossed up, you know, hodgepodge of this and that. And it's funny that the critics were not too pleased with 3 Weekends. And then they threw her into the Wild Party, as I've mentioned. But, you know, Clara came to Hollywood in about right at her 18th birthday. So that would have been 1923, the summer of 23. She gets work in a film called Black Oxen. I mean, she did a few others before that, but Black Oxen was really an important part because it starred Corinne Griffith, who at the time was, you know, one of the top leading ladies at Warner Brothers, or First National, whatever they called it back in 23, 24. And Corinne Griffith praised Clara to the fan magazines, which was an amazing thing to do. You know, a star of her caliber. Then there's a funny story that she went to work on a film called Painted People, starring the great flapper Colleen Moore. Well, Clara felt she was miscast and just blatantly went up to Colleen and told her that. And Colleen agreed with her, but forever held it against her, because what she did next was said she had had an injury or something to her face and needed to have something removed or whatever. So she comes in a couple days later and with this great big bandage on her face, and they said, well, you can't finish this film. She goes, good, and they put her on something else. But that apparently cost some money to replace her, because quite a bit of footage had been shot. Before 26, I think 24, 25, it was just one film after another. She was like Baby Peggy says, she was out of her depth. She would work in the morning on one film, the afternoon there'd be another film, in the evening maybe finishing up a third film. So her hairstyle would be different. She'd get them mixed up for which film she was working on. It was a pretty hectic life, and it was no wonder that by the time talking pictures come in, the poor girl was exhausted. Thank you.